perspective about the open internet, and really I have sort of 5 points to make in my few minutes. The first point really is about the internet as we know it. It's not a fad, it's not a toy, it's not the preserve of those who are better off. It is now an essential tool for modern living. It's there not just for leisure purposes, it's there for work, for learning, for access to information, services and goods, through banking and internet purchases. It's also about access to public services, such as the NHS, the Inland Revenue and YouGov. So I think we have to look at it in that context as an essential new utility, if you like, that is an increasing part of our daily lives. One thing that concerns us is really that the enormous benefits that there are of the open internet can possibly be stifled by the risks that if net neutrality or the open internet principle is compromised. So in our view, net neutrality is a prerequisite to safeguarding the participation by citizens in our society that secures access to knowledge, that secures access to goods and services, that promotes diversity, innovation, economic growth, and ultimately democratic participation. We do recognise that there is a need for traffic management. Of course there is. Only a fool would say otherwise. But really it is a question about whether or not one's talking about the management to regulate high volumes of traffic on the open internet, or whether it's talking about discriminatory type of practices. And that we do not believe is a positive step at all. Transparency for consumers is an important issue, and Rob Reed will talk about that in a moment, but it's not the be-all and end-all. It merely serves to provide information to consumers, and really what is important are the principles that sit behind that. Principles that are mainly defended by competition and so-called transparency of information. But they, in our opinion, are just not enough. Another point I'd like to make briefly is that in terms of the duel, if you like, between managed services and maintaining a best effort public internet. We feel that in adopting the new EU legislation without clear guidelines on traffic management, it's possible that the premium managed services will be developed at the expense of the best effort public internet. Managed services, again, there's a place for those. They're beneficial to some consumers because they can provide guaranteed quality of services for specified content and or services, but these should not degrade the current level of service that's available to all consumers, nor should they restrict the level of consumers' choice of online content and services. So what we would say is that a basic best effort public internet is something that should be maintained at all costs.